When it comes to Facebook, you got to understand that Facebook marketing is actually about dating your market. It's wooing your market. It's putting stuff out there that has your market feel valued and appreciated and building a long-term relationship, which means that when you put content out there, it's no different to taking a girl on a date to the movies, to the theatre, to dinner, and warming her up.
Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quinton Venter, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey guys, Quinton here again, and with us is Gabby for another awesome episode, Marketing with Vino, episode 22. Welcome, Gabs.
Welcome, Quinton. Hey, beautiful peeps. Awesome to be here. We've got some really cool stuff to share with you today. Now, before we do, though, Quinton, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Amazing Shiraz by Taylor's, of course, from the Clare Valley. It's got a lot of medals on it, so it must be good if you have a look.
It must be. That's my go-to.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about eight gold labels, so they've done a stellar job.
Yeah, they must have done something right. Go Taylor's.
Go Taylor's.
Shout out to Taylor's.
And what about yourself? How's New Zealand treating you tonight?
Yeah, exactly. So I've got the New Zealand out, the Matua. Awesome. So I'm a bit funny that way. So I've got a few brands that I know are good, and I stick to them. And it's funny, like I was at an event about a month ago, and if you're listening to this and you're familiar with NLP, you'll get what this is. If you're not, I'll give you a bit of a quick rundown. So ultimately, we all actually have a strategy for everything we do. We've got every single person out there has a buying strategy. That it's literally a system that they follow every single time. Some people are heavily visual, where the visual element has them want to buy. Some people are very feely, so they feel good and then they want to buy. Some people overthink stuff. Some people need to hear, need to get all the details about certain things. Yeah. Ultimately, my buying strategy is pretty quick. It's so easy to sell to me. It's not funny. And they say that the best salespeople out there are the ones that are easily sold. So as you're listening to this, if you find that you buy things really, really easily, it's highly likely you probably sell quite easily because you expect other people to buy like you. And if you're listening to this and you don't buy very easily and you wonder why your clients aren't buying easily with you, it's because you're a bit of a pain in the ass to sell to. Yeah. But yeah, so it was funny at this event, they elicited my buying strategy. And it went pretty simple. It was Gabby sees a brand she likes. She sees something she likes. She puts it on. It feels good. And she goes, yep, I'll buy it. And literally that is how I buy stuff. So when it comes to wine, I'll go into a bottle shop and I'll see a label that I already know works for me. And I'll pick it up, which is the touch. I feel it. I buy it. That's as far as it goes. So you'll find that there's common brands of wine, labels, that I will continue. I'm loyal. I'm loyal to my label.
Extremely loyal. So, New Zealand is treating you very well.
New Zealand gets my love.
Oh, I love
Cheers
it.
To that.
Cheers to that. Oh.
So, totally off topic, but what we actually wanted to share with you guys today was the importance of story when it comes to marketing. And I just gave you a story, so technically it's not off topic. The importance of storytelling, that when it comes to marketing, it's not just about talking about your what it is I do. It's not the direct stuff that really pulls in the interest of the market. It's stories that do. It's connection through stories that pulls in your market and has them buy into your message. And there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. And it's actually understanding that, just like in every story, there's characters, and there's certain characters we fall in love with that have us like the story. In your marketing, you want to be a character, and you want to position your message. You want to relay your message through a character. And so I'm pretty sure Frank Kern actually came up with this. Correct me if I'm wrong, Quinton. It's called The 4 Characters of Marketing, and I'm pretty sure it came out of Frank Frank Kern. Is that correct?
Yeah, he would be someone that would be advocating it, yes.
Yeah, so shout out to Frank Kern if he really is the person who came up with this. Otherwise, maybe he learnt it from somewhere, and he definitely beats the drum on this one. So shout out to Frank Kern. There's 4 characters to online marketing, and we wanted to share them with you today. And we wanted to kind of go deep on one of them, the one that's performing really well, and tell you why. Yeah. So when you go and market, you can actually embody this character and tell your story in marketing through this character. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to just give you the 4 characters, tell you who they are, how they function, and why they're effective. Where in the world they're functioning pretty well, and like I said, go deep on one of the ones that seems to be quite powerful.
Yeah.
So the 4 characters are: one is the hometown girl/boy. One is the expert, one is the us versus them, and the other one's called the reluctant hero.
Yeah.
So we're gonna I'm gonna tell you a bit about it. Quinton will tell you a bit about it. So you should get a really awesome insight into the 4 characters. So starting with the hometown character. So it's hometown boy/girl, meaning if you're a boy, well, you're the boy version. If you're the girl, you're the girl version. Just in case.
No confusion there.
Yeah, no confusion there. So how it works though, it's actually a character that comes from a place of, I'm just an ordinary person. I grew up in, a simple town from a simple family, and then I learned this cool stuff. I implemented it into my world, and now I have epic results. So, for example, Oprah Winfrey is this character, and being this character has actually had her be very successful. Meaning she grew up in poverty, there was, problems. It's the hometown character is someone whose old world wasn't that great. And often their old world is either the same as everybody else's or worse, a lot worse than everybody else's.
Yeah.
Then that person goes on a journey, discovers some stuff, changes their world with it, and now says to people, you can have it too because I did. The reason why it works is because when people listen to a story through the hometown character, they go, hey, if you could do it, I can do it. You're just like me, I can do it too. Or you're worse off than me, which means I've got no excuses.
It also instills the, if you can do it, then I can do it too. It kind of brings people up that someone has already crossed that barrier the first time, giving them a little bit of hope that they potentially could do it as well.
Yeah, it's going back to the whole 1 minute mile race thing.
Yeah.
That there was a time where no one thought running a 1 minute mile was possible until it was done. And literally within a short period of time after the 1 minute mile was ran,
people were breaking necks.
People were doing the 1 minute mile left, right, and centre. So this is where it sets a new standard. And it gives people hope. Ultimately, every single character, has a purpose, and the hometown character is designed to give people hope, connection, and it pulls them out of their problem and has them inspired to take action.
Yeah.
So, for example, when you look at Oprah, right? Imagine for a second, tell me what you think, but imagine for a second if Oprah didn't have that backstory. That and if you're listening to this and you don't know Oprah's backstory, please go check it out. It's not great. It's an ugly backstory. It's not that fantastic. I'm not going to go deep on it right now, but it's not that great. There was abuse and there was all sorts of stuff that's happened, and there was poverty. Now imagine for a second if instead Oprah was a princess. I'm making this up as I go.
Yeah.
Imagine for a second if instead, when we first met Oprah and she came onto stage, she was born into royalty. She was born into privilege. She got her show because her dad owned several different, television channels, and it was easy for her.
Yeah. And then
what do you?
And then she starts speaking about the same message and about her life. It'll just be such a far disconnect from her, because she was once part of the people who were struggling, and her life story is engaging with them. They would just be complete disconnect, and probably won't even have the same impact with the people at the top, the higher the higher class people, they probably won't even resonate with
No.
her as well either.
Not at all.
It'll be a
So
completely different attraction.
yeah, and this is the impact that your brand character makes, meaning that when you create your brand, your brand needs to be a character. It needs to be an entity all on its own. The true branding is having your brand be a person, a character, a presence. And so for Oprah, her brand is hometown girl. It's, I was in crap. I, did X, Y, Z. Now I'm doing this and I'm changing the world with it. And people love that because they're like, oh my God, I relate to you. You're one of us. In fact, you're actually so super inspirational because you were disadvantaged and you did this. You give me hope.
Yeah.
Whereas if she was a princess born into luxury and privilege, it's quite the opposite reaction. People don't tend to, feel that connected, in that regard. Doesn't mean they won't respect the princess. It just means that they're not going to feel like she's one of them and embrace her. So that's one character. What else would you add about the hometown character?
Well, the hometown characters also, it shows obstacles that people have gone through, and even if it's not the same one, people try and make it into their world like it is the same one. So they kind of even lower their own challenges to another level so that they feel that they even have a higher chance of succeeding through with that. I think you've pretty much covered the hometown boy, hometown girl in a sense of it's a journey from I was there like you just before, now I'm here, and this is the process, the journey that I've gone through to get to where I am right now, and I want to share that with you. Yeah. Exactly.
So, to give you an example of how it applies in marketing, it's for me personally, the way I have hometown girl in my marketing is that I was born in Poland and during communist time. Now, communism was all great in theory; it was equality for all. However, in reality, it meant that we lived in a police state. There was vouchers for a kilo of salt, a kilo of pepper. I'm actually not sure what the actual measures were, but it was a kilo of pepper. It was specific quantities were allotted to families where you got a kilo of chocolate, that's it for the month.
Yeah.
People had to stand in queues for hours to get their food. There was a curfew. Everyone had to be indoors by 10 p.m. unless they had papers. And so I'm a little girl and my brother's a little boy and my parents are 21, 22, pretty young. And they would come home and dream about a better life for us. And one particular night, Dad being 22, had a few beers after work and was coming home late, meaning he was post curfew.
Yeah. And
back then, for there'd be soldiers roaming the streets, and some of them were a bit wonko in the head. They would literally, they'd lie on the floor of a tram, so you couldn't see anyone in there. But because some of these soldiers would literally just have a bit of a power, whatever you call it, and shoot at the trams, Quinton.
Wow.
So that they lie flat, so just in case some idiot decided to shoot up the tram, just in case someone was there, they wouldn't get shot. So one night, Dad gets out of the tram, and he's two blocks away from home, and two soldiers yell out, papers. Dad, of course, doesn't have papers.
Yeah.
And with a bit of beer in him, he's got a bit of courage, so he decides to bolt. And so he's running, he's running down the street. The soldiers are yelling. He takes a corner, no crap, they start shooting at him. A bullet literally just skims his shoulder as he takes the corner. He runs up the stairs into the apartment we lived, and that particular night the conversation got extremely real when Mum and Dad decided that, they had to make the move, they had to do something drastic, to get us out of there and create a better future for us. Now, from a context perspective, you couldn't leave the country. It was actually illegal to leave the country. So Mum and Dad sold everything they had, their wedding rings, everything they had, and bought a return trip to Bulgaria, with the intention to never come back. Didn't even tell anyone they were going bar my mum's parents, because if anyone heard a whisper and dobbed them in, this was the punishment. Mum and Dad would get locked up in prison, and get this, we would go to an orphanage, even though we had family.
Yeah, wow.
So the risk was massive, right? Absolutely massive. Yet their desire for a better life, their dream of giving us a better opportunity, a place to be free, to have opportunities was so real that they did it. We left. My brother and I, of course, had no idea. He left his favourite soldier in Poland. I left one of my favourite fluffy toys.
Yeah.
So obviously we missed them a lot. So we we got on a train, headed to Bulgaria. Ultimately, we never arrived. Mum and Dad, it's like late at night. The sun's gone down. I'm cold and it's dark and I'm tired and I'm 5 years old, and we're standing in front of this massive. Well, to me it was massive. It probably isn't that big now. The massive, gate with barbed wire and soldiers, and Mum and Dad are taking us in there. Doesn't look like much of a holiday to Bulgaria to me. Taking us in there, and all of a sudden I realise I'm in a refugee camp in Italy, and we lived there for 12 months. I watched my parents, literally wither away to feed us. Mum, who's my frame, and if you haven't met me, I'm tall, and she dropped to 40 kilos, Quinton.
Wow.
Which is quite small. We're talking
yes.
Kate Moss kind of look. Dad also, just to feed us. Mind you, all they did every night was just feed our head with the dream of kangaroos and koalas and bananas.
That is so inspiring.
We didn't have bananas in Poland, and we've had our first banana in Italy, and oh my God, Quinton, it was pretty goddamn phenomenal. So we finally got to Australia, and literally, I was meant to learn English in Italy. I didn't. I learnt Italian, so I was great at Italian. I could say hello, no, and thank you in English. We get here, and things were tough. Mum and Dad rocked up with 2 suitcases, $100 in their pocket. They worked their asses off. We lived in a housing commission, home for a while. I still remember growing up and having cheap clothes and having kids pick on me at school because I didn't have Nike or Stussy and all of that kind of stuff. And ultimately for me, I just got immersed into education. I got inspired to do something with my life, to take the opportunity. And I learnt and I read and I did courses and got mentors, and I applied what I learnt and created my first business and became number 1 in the industry. Absolutely smashing all records, where in my industry the standard conversion rates for sales were 30%. I took mine to 80%. No one had ever done it before.
Wow.
Purely because my mum and dad had installed in me this drive to always seek after your dreams. Then, I built another business, and once again just learnt everything I could, and applied it, implemented it. And as a result, got sensational results, became number 1 again in the industry. And then I decided that I wanted to help other people do it. I decided that, that I saw so many people with amazing talent venturing into business and struggling for time, struggling for money, just not having their vision realized. A lot of them giving up on the contribution they could actually make to the world with their business because they didn't know how. They didn't know how they could do it. They just didn't have the formula. And I'd spent all these years like a mad, crazy person consuming everything I could, applying it and getting results. And so I created a formula and created the business. It's simple, which is the business that I just put all my heart and soul and passion into, to help people, actually close the gap from where they are to where they want to be and create their own epicness. Ultimately, that's what drives me. It's I came from a place of, I had nothing. I was poor. My parents were poor. We had nothing. And I was able to, recreate the way I think and my relationship with money, to embrace it, learn what I needed to learn to win at the game, so I could have a comfortable, happy, free life. And all I want to do is share that with the world.
Yeah. Wow.
So guys, that's an example of hometown character.
Can I just say thank you so much for sharing that? That it almost sounds like a movie. in a sense of what happened to your dad back then and your entire life. That is so inspiring for them to have the vision and for them to keep going through the determination to provide for you guys. And for everyone that's listening right now, this past weekend I was on stage as a guest speaker for Gabs, and
so much fun.
What she is about with her people, and how much love and soul and the amount that she gives to her community that I've experienced firsthand being a guest speaker, it is absolutely out of this world. And she comes from a place where her heart is incredibly huge. And you know what, I was speechless with it after a while, just to see how that community engages and gives the energy back, and it was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And everyone, if you have the opportunity to get in touch with Gabby and to be part of it, to even just get a glimpse of what she is about, connect with her and just connect with her and give her, if you can grab a tiny amount of time from her, it is so worth it. She's such an inspiration.
Thank you, gorgeous. That's really sweet. Love.
Lots of love.
Love. And yeah, so so hometown. Now this is the funny part, guys, that I'm going to go into the next character now, which is the expert. Now the expert character is I am the best at what I do. I'm making $1 billion. I'm the best at what I do. It's the complete success archetype, meaning that they talk about all their wins, and all you ever hear from this character is all their wins. So, to come from this particular character, let me tell you the story again from the expert. And this is what you'll notice and how there's a difference here. So from an expert perspective, I would say, I decided to start a business and I bought into my very first business, which was in direct sales, selling water purification systems. I literally consumed everything I could, got the best team in place, got to #1 status in under a year. We took my conversion rate went from standard 30% to 80%, completely smashed the marketplace. Then when that industry died out, I went into finance and literally within 6 months became the best in my industry. And then within the state, within a couple of years, I was the best in the country for what I did. Literally, they had a chart. They had I'm actually not sure what it's called. They had a tally of what your penetration rate is or conversion rate is.
Yeah.
The conversion rate standard model that they had inside their system only went to 50%, meaning that they actually didn't have an ability to track beyond 50%. I took my conversions up to 60%, which meant that when they came and saw me, they couldn't even track. They couldn't, the program they had couldn't even log my performance because it wasn't set to that. So they had to recreate their whole system just to be able to have me in their system. Now, as a result, I've acquired all this cool stuff, and I want to give you the best. I want to give you the best so you can achieve phenomenal results in your business. Let my road be your shortcut. Now, same information, but do you notice the difference where it's all positioned around my results, how awesome I am, how easy it is for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to share that with you.
And I can also see the person that would be most attracted to it is to the person who's just got the idea of who's hunger for success. He's already doing fairly well and he just wants to get success to the next level. It's all just about results. He's very high D as well, and he just wants to go. He doesn't care about the fluff that happened before in your life. He just wants to know, can you get me to that success right now? So yeah, it's definitely it's attracting a different market altogether.
Completely different market. Yeah. And so as you're listening to the four characters, you're gonna be able to go, hey, which character do I identify with the most? And you'll see the difference because around the world, different markets identify with different characters better. So, for example, the two that we've just been speaking about, the expert, which is, hey, I'm a superhero, everything friggin' works out with me. Or the hometown, which is, hey, I'm a normal person who did this cool stuff, and and you can too.
Yeah.
So in Australia, the hometown character is extremely favoured, and the expert is actually looked at as a bit of a douche. But that's because in Australia, the community here has what's called tall poppy syndrome. They think that that people who are the best at are a bit douchey. They like to kind of, make everyone feel a little bit more, I don't know, like the same, and
bring
there's
it down a notch. Just bring it down.
Yeah, bring it down a notch. They see that as a bit wanky.
Yeah.
And it's ironic because when I first started marketing, and I'd come out with the expert, like my natural go-to, ironically, right? My natural go-to and my mindset is I'm an optimist and I'm ambitious and I'm proactive. And so for me, quite frankly, I played the expert naturally, meaning that I just, I'm like, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. I did it. You can do it. Without the struggle journey, that was my first thing. And what I found was people, yes, they'll admire you, but it doesn't give them hope, because in Australia, what it does is it actually has them go, well, it's all good and great for you because you're XYZ.
Yes.
I can't do it because I'm, ABC. And so by adding the hometown character and saying, look, God, I came here with no language, I came here with nothing. I learned everything I have now. I worked hard at it. And if you learn what you need to learn and implement and work hard too, you can have it too, is a very different message to I'm a rock star. Yeah. Check me out. But mind you, in saying that, in America, the expert character does really well.
Yes, you can see that in most of the movies and everything as well. These guys are just rocking it at the top, and they've got this wonderful life, the American dream, the rich and famous, and I can see how they relate to that.
Yeah, so they really do relate to the expert character quite well. So then that takes me to the third character. This character is super powerful. It's the us versus them character. Actually, before we do that, is there anything you'd add about the expert?
No, not at all. The expert is pretty straight to the point. He's got the results, and he wants to share it with the world. Pretty much is, I got the answers for you. You got to follow me. A little bit arrogant, a little bit of ego there as well. But he owns it because he's got the throne.
Total certainty.
Yeah, yep. He's got the throne of it.
Yeah. Yep. So this is and just so you know, to play the expert character in your business, it is about pointing out where you've won an award, where you've been the best, where you're a gold medalist. This is where the achievements, all the achievements of your business and what you sort of head with or start with when you talk about that predominantly. So if you spend a lot of time in your marketing talking about how awesome you are, all your achievements and awards, then you're actually playing the character of expert. And if your marketing is not working, it could actually be that the character's wrong, that you need to soften it up and add a bit of hometown to it.
Yeah.
Where you need to go back to the moment before you had the success. There was a time when you were a baby in nappies. For goodness sakes, everyone has a time before their success. And regardless of the story, there's a time before you knew what you know and you didn't have what you have.
And everyone had certain struggles back then as well.
Yeah.
So sharing those things softens the entire...
Exactly. So it's sharing the actual struggle. It's sharing the climb, the journey, the failures, the mistakes, all of that kind of stuff. Number 3 is the us versus them character. Now, this one is actually quite powerful everywhere. This is the character that is they're telling you this, and this is why it's not working, because what they're not telling you is this. And I'm going to stand for you. I'm going to friggin' build a tribe of people that do it differently, so you can actually have everything you've ever wanted.
Yeah.
That this is the way that you really want to be doing it, because that way, problem. Now, this particular character, once again, gives hope, because if someone's already tried some stuff and they tell them, and they tell that person, everyone's telling you to wear white, and what I'm telling you right now is it doesn't work, because when you're playing in mud, quite frankly, white doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you just put brown on, you'd be so much happier. Then the person's going, oh, brilliant. Never thought of that.
Got to wear your brown pants.
Got to wear your brown pants. So when it comes to the us versus them character, for myself, this is how I use it. I say things like, you know what, everyone's telling you to sacrifice a couple of years of your life so you can live happy for the rest of your life. Where there's this message in building your business that says, work your ass off and just focus on business and, do what others won't and work, 20 hours a day and, put the hard work in so you can relax the rest of your life. Well, what I'm here to tell you is that's actually bullshit. One, the who you'll be at the end of it will be so broken. You'll have sacrificed your relationships, your health, that even when you hit the success, your health is out of whack. You're now fat and you've probably got diabetes or some other health concerns. Yeah. Your wife has most likely left you at this point, or your relationship is so wonky it's not funny because you haven't given them any love at all. Your family, your friends, everyone's feeling like, you just don't care. And so who cares if you get to the top of the mountain when you're broken and all alone? Yeah. The truth of the matter is, secondly to that, if your mindset is always a go, 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 go mindset, you're just constantly in hunter mode. When you get to the top, your whole nervous system doesn't even know how to function in freedom, doesn't know how to function in like abundance. You're so pre-wired to be in the go, go, go mode that even when you hit your first million, it won't be enough. You'll be happy for 2 days, and then you're going to be going after the 2 million and 3 million. You're constantly going to be in this hunt because nothing's ever going to be enough, because your whole mindset, your wiring, the who you are is not the who you need to be to enjoy bliss and freedom. And so this is my us versus them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And now this is the thing, that when people hear that message and they've been on that journey and it has hurt them, straight away they want to join my tribe. So the us versus them character is they're telling you this and it's bullshit. This is the real true path to happiness. Jump on. I'm standing for this. I'm going to go against the status quo. I'm going to stand for this message and jump on. Join me in my tribe. Help me spread this message. Yeah. Has people, one, get hope, feel like, finally someone's given me permission to be happy. Yeah. There's this absolute for the right market, yeah? There's this absolute release of, oh my God, I've got permission to spend time with my family. I've got permission to look after I've got permission to rest. I've got permission to take a day off.
Yep.
I didn't know I could do that. Oh, now it feels good.
They're kind of seeing it from another angle as well. And because they then have someone on their side, they kind of feel that they're no longer alone. They feel that that's the second value as well. On the value scale, it's the second part of your tribe. You feel that you belong somewhere. This plays out a lot in politicians, where politics is a lot us versus them. You hardly ever hear of a politician speak about a hometown boy. It's always about, I believe this, and we are going to stand for this, and those guys, they stand for that, and that is bad. And it's very much a us versus. It kind of tears people apart, but for decision making, at times it is necessary. If you got to push them over the edge, it is. Yep. Are you still a fence setter? Then it's either you're there or you're over here. So it does play out.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you 100%. Ultimately, though, it's such a powerful character because one, you got to have balls to do this character. First up, when you agree, Quinton, you got to have some balls. So the way Quinton plays out this character is in his story of Facebook, and who you should be on Facebook. So I love this because, on the weekend when we're running the Facebook intensive, and Quinton just rocked the stage, by the way. You should see this guy because it's just amazing. You're welcome. The message though was, when it comes to Facebook, you got to understand that Facebook marketing is actually about dating your market. It's wooing your market. It's putting stuff out there that has your market feel valued and appreciated, and building a long-term relationship, which means that when you put content out there, it's no different to taking a girl on a date to the movies, to the theater, to dinner, and warming her up. when you share, valuable opt-ins, meaning like, lead magnets where, they get your cool thing to give you their email, it's no different to giving her a diamond ring. It's a gift. And when you approach, marketing from the perspective of let's build a relationship, let's actually like treat you like a human being and have a conversation with you and give and woo you and, get to know you and have you trust us and like us, then you're going to want to do business with us. Where everybody else, when it comes to Facebook, is just talking about, how to optimize your friggin' ads and how to, target better. And no one's giving you the psychology of what it really takes to get this stuff to work really well.
And I also think it's gotten to a point where people are looking for that next thing, because as online marketing is new, I mean, it's only what now? Probably about 16 years old since the start of internet, when email marketing started, and Facebook isn't even that old. But as people start to adapt more and more to the online world, they're craving the more human engagement and less of the robotic engagement. So if you're out there pretending to be a robot, or pretending to be a robot that's trying to be human, people will see through that. And it's a bullshit radar that detects it, that this guy he's not real. He's not in there for the long run. He's just in there for the quick grab and snatch and grab. It's funny, I was just before we actually started this call, I was talking to a good friend, and we were talking about this whole process of how are you actually wooing your market? How are you engaging them? And the same way that if you were to date a girl, or the opposite sex or the same sex,
or guy,
or if you were to date another person, you wouldn't just there be telling about your great achievements and just the what's of your business or the what's of your life experience. You would actually be engaging and making it about them as well, where you want to get to know them in the sense of, do they like to travel? What are their hobbies? What movies do they enjoy? What kind of foods do they enjoy? And with that, you also share your story around that. If you love to travel, then you might name a few places that you've traveled to and then the highlights of those places. Still getting the point across that you love adventure. But to humans, you would do that in a story way, not in a just, here's the dot points of bang, travel, yes, food, yes, movies, no, this and that, and sports, yes, footy, tennis, no. You don't talk like that. So the more human you can be through Facebook and through your email marketing, through your website, the more you're going to be engaged and get people to actually stick with you through the entire process.
And this is Quinton's us versus them character, where he stands for, do it differently, connect with people, be a human being online. The online marketing isn't, I now have to become a robot with perfect copy. Yeah. It's actually a be real, be who you'd be in person online.
Yeah.
And so this is the us versus them playing out. It's really powerful, like I said, because if somebody's already tried a few things and then you come on and say, no, don't do it this way, do it this way because, and they have an aha moment, you've got them hopeful. You've won them back in to wanting to do business with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And, and they feel understood and this sparks up a whole bunch of awesome. So that's number 3, choosing the us versus them approach. But like I said, this one takes balls because this is where you are actually standing for an opinion and a position in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And, you could have people, tell you you're wrong. And quite frankly, you need to be certain that what you're talking about, be passionate about what you're talking about. So no one could turn around to me and tell me that that Gabby, you're wrong. You should sacrifice a couple of years, to build this stuff. Because instantly, I'll tell you that's a load of bullshit. Yeah. If you're going to do that, you could not sway me in any debate, in any argument on this point. Only because I've been there, I've done that, I did it the old way. Yes, I got success, but my God, did my health and my life suffer. It wasn't worth it. I got to the end, of the awesome mountain and the view sucked because I was broken and I couldn't appreciate it. And so I stand for the fact that, that my thing is legit. So when you do the us versus them, it's going to be something that you really do stand for, that you just 110% believe in. And that takes us...
3 questions that I like to ask people when we discover their us versus them is, what do you believe to be true about your industry and life? And secondly, what do you stand for and what do you stand against? What is the thing that you would put your foot down and fight for till your last breath, that you will not budge on? What is it that you would stand for? And also, what do you stand against? For the agency, we're against the people who promote get rich overnight. We're against people who claim to get amazing results overnight, the get rich schemes. We stand for relationships. We will not budge unless we talk to someone who value relationships. So it really comes down to, what do you believe to be true about the world and your industry? What do you stand for and what do you stand against?
And this also has you then be very selective with the clients that you do business with too, because I won't do business with clients that don't have heart, that don't actually want to, do something awesome on the planet. I definitely don't do business with people that are expecting to make a gazillion dollars, overnight without doing any work.
Yeah.
Or does that make sense? So like this kind of like exploring your character, what you stand for, your story, where you've been, actually really helps you, attract the right kind of people to you. Yeah. And that takes me to character, 4, which is the reluctant hero. And you know what, Quinton, I'm going to let you do this one, because I'll be honest with you, the reluctant hero is not a character that I've developed very well. So,
cool. So the reluctant hero is someone who's gone through the journey of having great success. He's got the results in something, in the industry, in the field. He's got great achievements, yet he's kind of at a point in his life where he knows that the world needs it, but he's also at a place where he's not comfortable being in the spotlight, wanting to share it, wanting to get it out to the world. But he does know his message, his story, his experience, his achievements, his system, his formula can make a difference, and the world should know about it. So you'd often hear him come out when in quieter times, not when everyone is talking about it, but quieter times in a very subtle way, but making a very impactful moment, whether it's in business or whether it's in politics or whether it's in industry-changing moments. Like Elon Musk is someone for me that comes out from a reluctant hero. That he's come out from doing all of this background. There isn't much background on him with videos and interviews until he actually established great results. And now he's on a point where he knows that the world needs his system with Tesla. He knows that the world is coming to a point where energy is running scarce. So he's now out there trying to make a difference and making sure that everyone is aware of it. If you just look at his presentation skills, he's not the same as an expert speaker or the person who's been in the spotlight along. That's why he reminds me so much of a reluctant hero, because he's speaking. His how would you say it? His appearance on stage isn't as flowing and certain, but he does get his point across.
Yeah, it's wonky. And so love that. So ultimately, it's the reluctant hero is the kind of character that goes, shit, what I've got is really awesome. And so the ultimate version of this is, I did this cool thing. So you know what? Years ago, I started this business. And I had all these people coming to me, and they were coming to me with X problems. So for argument's sake, it could be, to give you an example, all these people coming to me with fertility issues, and I could fix it, meaning that, all my clients would actually get pregnant within a few months of working with me. And they'd be bringing more and more people to me, and all of a sudden I'm just like bombarded with all these people, bringing their friends and other people to me, and we're creating babies, quite frankly. And they told me, look, you've got to tell more people about this. What you have is amazing. You've got to get your message out there. And to be honest with you, I was like, what message? I don't even know what I'm technically doing here. I didn't even know my thing could do this. It's a bit of a coincidence. Look, one day maybe, I'll get around to it. And then they just kept going at me. And, I thought, well, you know what? Gosh, I've helped hundreds of people now. Maybe they're onto something. Maybe I do have something different. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's other things out there that don't get any results for people. And so even though I don't like being in the spotlight And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not a teacher, and I'm not like this whiz-bang expert. I just know that what I do works. I know that my system and what I've created works because it's helped everyone that's ever used it. So I wanted to share my system with you and spread it with the world. And this is what it is. And if you'd like to find out more, come and have a consult with me. So that's the reluctant hero character.
Yeah.
It's this, Now, to be honest with you, like when it comes to your business, you want to kind of go, what percentage of each character does my brand need to have, for it to succeed the most in my marketplace? Where the reluctant hero works really well, guys, is for startups. So if you're a startup and you haven't really got a great deal of, time behind you and expertise and, runs on the board, if you use the reluctant hero, it actually cuts through all the BS. So all the fears you have on, but I haven't been doing it long enough, or, but, I don't have X, Y, Z, or I don't have this amazing, inspiring story, So this is where you can go and say something like, I created this business because I saw there was a gap. I saw that, that this was missing. And I'll be honest, like at first I was a bit nervous and scared to put this out there, but I did the research. I did everything I needed to do, and I thought it was important. So the reason I'm here right now is because I saw how much of a problem there was in the industry. I saw so many people, trying fertility clinics, and we're just going to use that metaphor.
Yeah.
Fertility clinics, and and what's that process called? Not HIV.
IVF.
IVF. HIV. What the hell? You clearly get it. Never done this before. Making it up as I go. Trying IVF and without any results, and so I created this thing and I've tested it with a bunch of people and it works. And I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist. I'm not going to tell you that I'm a speaker or, I'm any of those things. However, I do believe the world needs to know about this, and I'd love to share it with you. So this is where if you're a startup, if you're new and you don't have the runs on your board, you can use Reluctant Hero as a really cool character to get you into the market. Now, here's my take. You should not be the Reluctant Hero for a very long time. The Reluctant Hero is a great character to launch into the marketplace with, but for goodness sakes, if you're 10 years in your business and you're still a reluctant hero,
you need to get out there. You need to
just step into a different character. My goodness. So this is how it plays out. So one of the best characters to take on, guys, is the us versus them. Really, really awesome. It's like what Quinton said to you before, the questions he gave you, which were, let's just do them again.
What do you believe to be true about the world and about your industry? What do you stand for and what do you stand against?
Brilliant. Answer that and start playing this stuff. If you've got a really cool epic story of your before and, what you did and now after, excellent hometown, beautiful place for hometown. What you'll find is that every single character actually leads to expert. So the hometown does lead to expert, meaning, but it's a soft version of expert.
Yeah.
So when you heard my hometown story, did I come off wanky or did I actually come off as,
it's genuine.
Yeah.
You can live through with it. It's like you've gone through hardship and the challenges and setbacks, and now you've achieved something, and you're there to help the rest of the community.
That's right. And so ultimately, I'm still an expert at the end of it. Like, you're like, wow, you've done this cool stuff. It still positions me as an expert. However, it's softer.
Yeah.
The us versus them will still position you as an expert because you have an opinion that's different, and you've got stuff to prove that your opinion's awesome. So the end road is still expert. The reluctant hero still takes you to the point that you're an expert, but all three channels don't have your expert come across as, hey, I'm awesome, look at my Rolls Royce, look at my Ferrari, check out my big water cash. It's that kind of thing. So, it's getting that. So guys, we invite you to play around with this. We invite you to have a play with the characters, start using them in your marketing and sharing your marketing message through those stories. And if you're not already in there, we've got Marketing with Vino Club, which is a Facebook group private just for you guys that you can actually get in on, ask questions, share stuff. I'd love for you to, if you're already in there, tell me, what's a cool angle for a us versus them story, or a hometown story, or a reluctant hero story, and we'll give you feedback on it. Two, if you're not, go to marketingwithvino.com. There'll be a tab there that says join the Marketing with Vino Club. All you do is press that button and follow the prompts and come join our community. It's a beautiful complimentary forum we've created for you, so you can come and talk back to us, so we can actually continue the conversation and give you even more support and love.
And guys, we have an amazing community inside the group where it's a great place where you get to know other people get to know you, and who knows, it's an ultimate place to network. It's where you can even start joint ventures and start getting to know the people in your community who share the same story that you do, your same mission, and then team up. And we are there for you to help make this process happen. And ultimately, we just want to get to know you on a more deeper level, because we love sharing amazing stuff with you. Also, for the members in the club, we do special things that we don't share with the general public. So if you want to get a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more insight, go to marketingwithvino.com and
join the club.
And join the club, and one of the
legends
join the
will
club.
let you in. Join the club. Anyway, it's been awesome, Quinton, hanging out with you. Thank you so much.
It has been incredible. Thank you so much,
Pleasure and an honor. Yeah, absolutely love you. And guys, love you all. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for listening, and we'll chat next time.
Join the club, guys. Join the club.
just in case you didn't get that. Ciao. Have an awesome day, night, evening, wherever you may be. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino. If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.